What's up, YouTube? And I'm back at you with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to give my prediction for the Florida Gators versus the Texas A&M Aggies. But before I do, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it really helps out my channel and it helps me grow as a content creator. This is going to be an interesting matchup, guys. You got two teams, struggling offensively and just struggling all the way around. Um, both defensively and offensively. And did some research, guys, and both teams are trying to get their second SEC win in conference. That's crazy, but I'm gonna go into the stats and yeah, Florida of course got Anthony Richardson. Is not having the season that he wants to have, guys. Coming out of high school, this was a guy that can run the ball and was good at passing the ball. He struggled, in the college game, trying to pass the ball downfield. He's still lethal with his legs. They're just coming off a loss to Georgia, and it seems like he was injured that game. I didn't see him really use his legs too much like he normally does, but stat-wise, he has 1,638 yards on the season with 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Like I said, just struggling to pass the ball downfield, and that has been Florida's problem. Starting last season when he was able to come in and all the way into this season, he just struggled to throw the ball downfield, and Florida just seems to, can't get him comfortable enough to where, he can make the reads and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting in this matchup against Texas A&M. Of course, Haynes King has been starting for Texas A&M, but last game they started Connor Wayman, and he threw for 338 yards for 4 touchdowns. If I'm not mistaken, he's a freshman, and Texas A&M probably should have been playing this guy all season. He's done better than all of the quarterbacks combined since Texas A&M has started the season. So he's probably going to get the nod in this game. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're playing at home. So Florida Gators, they have to travel. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. With a freshman, starting, at home. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I've been looking at the stats for the game, and both teams, like I said, had some rough bumps in the road, but of course, Florida has Montrell Johnson Jr. He's rushed for 449 yards with 7 touchdowns. So a guy we're gonna have to look out for in this matchup, to get Florida's run game, going. Florida's primarily a run team, and they're really, really good at doing it when they're effective, and they have a pretty good O-line, guys. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Texas A&M, of course, has Devin A-Chain, one of the best running backs in the SEC. He's ran for 765 yards for 4 touchdowns, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Um, Florida has Justin Shorter. He has 471 yards with 2 touchdowns on the season. Evan Stewart for Texas A&M has 478 yards for 2 touchdowns. So like I said, both teams are talented. It's just they can, put things together, to get the offense moving smoothly. But points per game, Florida's averaging 30 points per game. Texas A&M is only averaging 22 points a game. So that's going to be interesting in this matchup. But Florida has the advantage there. Points allowed per game, though, Florida's allowing 29.9. So Florida is average, they're allowing 30, but only getting 30. So that's bad, when you look at it. But Texas A&M is allowing 21.8 points a game. So the same thing with Texas A&M. They're allowing and gaining the same amount of points. So you would like to see some separation there. You would like to get more points than you are giving up. So that's what makes this matchup interesting. So total yards, Florida's averaging 422.8 yards per game. Texas A&M is averaging 359.1. So Texas A&M has the advantage there. Texas A&M is averaging 235.9 through the air and 123 rushing yards on the ground. So not where you would want it, as far as passing, but that's you can eclipse, actually rushing wise, you would like to gain somewhere like 150, yards per, rushing or something like that a game. That's kind of like a good starting point. That's really good if you can get 150. So, average play as far as Texas A&M. On the flip side, Florida's averaging 223.8 through the air passing, and they're averaging 199 on the ground. So, like I said, Florida is averaging 200 yards on the ground. That's very, very good. So Florida has the advantage rushing, but Texas A&M just has a slight advantage passing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Yards allowed, Florida's allowing 445 yards per game. Texas A&M is allowing 375.8 yards a game. So Texas A&M has this advantage in points allowed. Yards allowed. If you were to break that down, Florida's allowing 253 through the air, and they're allowing 191 on the ground. So that's bad, for Florida. On the flip side, Texas A&M is allowing 170 yards through the air, and they're allowing 205 on the ground. Texas A&M has the better secondary from these stats. They're stopping the pass. That's good, but they're giving up way too much on the ground. Both teams really. 191 for Florida and 205 for Texas A&M. Like I said, that's not good. But Florida, I'm looking at their schedule. Like I said, they're trying to get their second, SEC win. They lost to Texas. Not Texas, Tennessee, 38-33. A game they could have, it seemed like, they put up a lot of points, but not Texas, I keep saying Texas, but Tennessee really had that game in hand. Nobody all season has been able to stop Tennessee's offense. So they definitely lost that game. They beat Missouri 24-17. Missouri team, it's not really that good, So, that was a game for them as well against Missouri. Then, of course, they lost to LSU, their cross-division opponent, 45-35. They put up some points, but LSU, like I said, they're clicking right now. They're looking really, really good offensively, but they lost that game. Florida lost that game. And, of course, they lost in the cocktail party to Georgia, 42-20. It looked at times, like Florida was able, to do some things, but ultimately Georgia was just too much for them. And they lost that game. So, like I said, their only win against in SEC play was against Missouri. And Missouri played them tough. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Texas A&M, on the other hand, they got a victory against Arkansas. In my opinion, Arkansas win that game. Arkansas should have won that game. But Arkansas, had too many penalties. Not penalties, but they fumbled the ball, turnovers in that game. That's what cost Arkansas that game. Arkansas probably would have ran away with it, but costly turnovers. And Texas A&M was able to turn around. And you can't, with any team, you can't, turn the ball over and expect the team not to have a good position to win the game. So Texas A&M was able to beat Arkansas. They lost to Mississippi State the following week, 42-24. Just completely got, defeated that game against a Mississippi State team that was rolling at that point during the season. Of course, they lost to Alabama close, 24-20. Alabama had turnovers that game and kept Texas A&M in that game. Whenever Texas A&M had the ball, it was hard for them to move down the field. They kept going 3 and out. So, they lost that game. Then they lost to South Carolina. That was, a shocker. I thought Texas A&M was going to be able to get that victory, but South Carolina beat them at home, and South Carolina was able to do something against Texas A&M they haven't done since Texas A&M joined the conference. So they lost there, and then they came off a loss to Ole Miss, 31-28. They fought that game, like I said. Starting Connor Wayman, like I said, should have been the starter all season, but they lost close, 28-31. Lane Kiffin was able to get out of there with a victory. So, if I had to give my prediction, I'm looking at the spread. They have it at 3.5 for Texas A&M. If I had to pick a winner for this game, I'm picking Texas A&M. I think Florida just has too many problems right now. I do think Florida is going to be able to run the ball, though. I really do. I think Florida is going to put themselves in a good position to try to win this game. But I think in the end, Florida's defense, they're just bad all across the board, guys. Passing and running, like I said, I'm looking at these stats. Yeah, Florida giving up 253 through the air and 191 on the ground. That doesn't bode well. If Connor Wayman can pick up where he left off last game, and then of course Devin A-Chain being able to get loose, it's going to be bad for Florida, and it's going to be hard to come back. But if I had to give my prediction, like I said, I got Texas A&M winning the game. I got them winning 24-21. I think, like I said, I think Florida's going to be able to run the ball, but if you get in a situation where Texas A&M can some kind of way stop the run and force Anthony Richardson to pass the ball, it's going to be hard for Florida to come up back in this game or even win this game. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And once again, guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.